Good evening and welcome to this Excel learning video. Perhaps you've got inventory in your business and you want to know when certain items need to be reordered and the items are either in stock or they're out of stock. So as you can see here, I have a table on the left with some items and their quantities. The objective is I'm going to duplicate that over to the in stock, and then when the inventory gets depleted, Excel will automatically put those items in the out of stock table without us having to do it manually, one by one. It's a great feature. Then, where do you see this? I'll do basically the same thing, except I will do it using Copilot instead. Ooh. Ah. So here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to use what's called the filter function. So I'm over here at the top of the second table, right under the product column, equals filter, open paren. The first argument is what's the array? Well, the array is this entire inventory table over here on the left. So I highlight that, separate it with a comma. What am I to include? It's the quantities in the quantity column, and I'm testing it whether it is greater than 0. So I type in greater than 0, close the parenthesis. When I press enter, what's going to happen is it's going to duplicate exactly what it sees on the left because everything in column C is greater than 0. And there we go. But now, here's the neat part. I'm going to use a similar function of what I just did, but instead of being greater than 0, it will say equal to 0. And what I will do is I will change the quantities over here in column C down to 0. And what will happen is two things. They will be pulled out of this list because they're no longer in stock, and they will be moved from this table over to the out of stock table. Wow, that's pretty neat. So here we go. Same basic formula, equal filter, open paren, the same array, comma. I'm still using the including of the quantity in column C, but this time equal to 0. Now, when I press enter, nothing's going to happen, but watch. I'm now going to zero out some of these quantities. Here we go. Apples 100, now 0. I press enter. Look at that. Do the same thing for banana. Drop it down to 0. Now, if I change cherries from 80 down to 5, nothing's going to happen in column H and I, but it decreased in column F. And then I move down to the next one where there's a 0. I'll skip a bunch, put peaches at 0, and there you go. Isn't that pretty cool? All right. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to use Copilot to do what I just did. So what I do is I make sure the auto save feature is on. On my home tab, I've got my Copilot icon right here. I click on it. Up pops the Copilot window pane, and it's waiting for me describing what I would like to do. Here we go. Use the filter function in column E, period. When the quantity, and notice that quantity has to be spelled the exact same way it is in the worksheet, in column C is greater than 0, comma, fill in the product and quantity. Again, those fields must be spelled identically as well. Values from columns B and C into columns E and F, period. So watch what happens when I click the submit button. It will take all of these items from column B to C and put it into E and F automatically. It's doing its thing. Shouldn't take much longer. There it is. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, we're not quite there yet. I am now going to create another prompt that's going to basically do the same thing, except when the quantity in column C is equal to 0. Fill in the product and quantity values from columns B and C, but this time into columns H and I. And then I'm going to have Copilot change the values on the quantities of some of the fruits there in column C. Ooh, pretty cool, huh? Here we go. Here's my prompt. Now, do the same thing, comma, except when the quantity in column C is equal to 0, comma, fill in the product and quantity values from columns B and C into columns H and I, period. Change the value for apple, comma, banana. I can even make the fruit plural. Oranges and peaches. Parenthesis. All from column B, because it needs to know from column B, not E, change to zeros, period. I will click the submit button. It's going to take a little while. Watch what happens over here. You'll be quite impressed. It's taking a little, there it is. Is that amazing or is that amazing? Copilot is such a beautiful thing. I didn't even have to know how to use the filter function. I just verbally said what I wanted to do in both instances, and it worked perfectly. All right. Stay tuned. I got a lot more Copilot tips and tricks and things to show you. Not just in Excel, but Word and Outlook and PowerPoint, OneNote, OneDrive, Teams, plus all the additional functionalities and tricks and tips with using the actual applications without Copilot. And as usual, this is where you can find me, Tom at leadingedgebizservices.com. My rates are very reasonable. I'll make a guru out of you yet. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye.